Turn down your sound. And let's see what we got here. It says waiting for off grid with Doug and Stacy, but we're on.
Well, they're talking.
I know, but this thing isn't working. Interesting. All right, can you guys see us? I don't know why the thumbnail is not even proper.
I think I did.
There's a notification.
Oh, I got one.
Hit that thumbs up. I just got back from snow removal. Hopefully you guys saw it at the wood lot. @ the wood lot. That's the other channel, in case you care. All right, going back over here and try this again. Live, there's the picture. We're doing it. Mute. All right, so this is the thing. I hope you guys just stay vigilant because there's going to be a lot of stuff popping off. Here we go right into the new year. We've got explosions and all kinds of nonsense going on. George Soros and Hillary Clinton get the Medal of Freedom. This is the crazy train.
They did. I'm not
clown world stuff. I'm going to do videos about it this week. There's just a lot of stuff going on today. Biden banned drilling for oil because he knows that's what we want. We want to drill, baby, drill. So he comes in and he bans the oil right off the bat, and that might take a whole act of Congress to reverse. I mean, this stuff is nonstop in your face. Okay, the illegals are here. They've been piping them in for over 4 years. And a lot of them are sleeper cell people. They're here to do the dirty. Okay, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on this year in 2025. Okay, one of the ways we take care of ourselves is Herbal Remedies, and we eat really good from the vine. We eat in season. We also ferment a lot of foods, and we have over thousands plus videos of all of that stuff. If you want to learn how to do it, if you want to learn how to ferment, just type in fermenting off-grid Doug, and it'll pop up and you can watch all this stuff because you're going to need to know how to take care of yourself. There's a lot of people right now without power. So if you're without power, you need to know how to take care of yourself, right? Because this is the age of taking care of yourself. No one is going to save you, not even Donald J. Trump. So we're going to get into it. Stacy's going to talk about something. I just got home. I'm going to back out into the couch over here and relax. And she's going to talk to you guys about something that happened today. Scoot over here a little bit so you're like in the middle.
Can I tell what happened last night first?
Okay.
We need to. I think it's important.
Okay. So everyone knows Doug and Stacy live off-grid in a log cabin, and we heat with a wood cook stove. See that wood cook stove right there? Now, we keep telling you guys, make sure you get a carbon monoxide.
No, just wait.
Hold on.
We had the blizzard.
Hey. Make sure you get a carbon monoxide detector if you're going to live off-grid and you're going to use wood cook stoves or some kind of even gas appliances that you rig up or something, right? We're living an alternative lifestyle, so it's not like, everyday stuff going on in here, right? So make sure you're getting a few little things that can help possibly save your life, okay? So the big storm was coming in. Everybody knows all about it. The whole coast, they got everybody freaked out coast to coast. And, the wind started picking up yesterday, and we had a kind of a okay day. We didn't get a lot of snow, but it was cold. It was windy. We got snow on and off, sleet, this all business. So we got ready to go to bed last night, and Stacy took care of the stove. She kind of choked it down a little bit like we do, but she should have left it open a little bit more, but, whatever. But the wind, we're getting these bad north winds, 60 miles, 50 miles an hour. And sometimes when we get those, what are they called? Shearing?
Yeah, they go from one way. They go one way and the other north and east. And
the guys at the fireplace, they all said that, it's kind of hard to deal with, but, try this or that. So we've done a lot of stuff to try things. But this is the north over here, and it blows this way. And last night we were sleeping, and Stacy's like nudging me saying, oh, I'm feeling the creosote. Something's up with the creosote.
I smell the smoke.
Yeah, and I'm like, well, the window's open. We have a window right by our head there. And I'm like, well, maybe the window's open and you got the thing choked down a little bit. Maybe you're smelling that. And she says, I don't know. So I said, well, go check it out, right? So she gets up. She comes downstairs. She does the whole checky check, and she comes back upstairs, and she says, oh, it looks okay. Everything's fine, I guess. And so we go back to bed, right? And so we're sleeping some more last night, and all of a sudden, meat, meat, meat. I'm like, what is that noise? She's like, I don't know. This is like 3 o'clock in the morning. 3 o'clock in the morning. I did a video about it. Put in 3 a.m. off-grid Doug. So I'm like, oh man, is that the carbon monoxide detector? She grabs her headlamp off the bed and she turns it on, and you can see the smoke in the room and everything. So we had to come up 3 o'clock in the morning last night, 60-mile-an-hour winds, -0 degrees outside. Open up all the doors in the house, air this puppy out. Luckily, we get these 100% beeswax candles that purify the air from the Missouri Tea Company.
I'll tell you what, we had the smoke was so bad, and it was beeping. So we had the doors open, and then we had the windows open. And then early this morning, he got up. Actually, this candle has been burning all day long since what, 7 o'clock earlier?
3 o'clock.
This
After
has been
I
burning
came back down and
all
got
day
everything
long.
squared
I
up, I just
touched
went to bed, put it on the plate.
And normally, when we have this happen, the house smells really bad, like a smokehouse or something. And I thought, I'm gonna have to wash everything again. And so that's been burning all day.
She said, why'd you turn it on? I said, well, it purifies the air, right?
It really did. I came in from outside a bunch of times because I've been out doing the livestock and everybody today. And I'm telling you, I never did it before because of the smoke. It really took out the smell. So that was a new thing for me, but that was really good with this candle. So I'm really happy about that happening. But yes, get a carbon monoxide detector because that basically saved our lives.
So we got that all cleared out. We got the house aired out like a mug. Then we kind of went back to bed, and then I got up this morning and I had to go on the big snow removal tasks and everything at hand. And so I just got back. But Stacy today was running around so she could get propane and get some things settled, just because the weather's getting bad. We're going to be like highs of like nothing and, like -15 or something degrees Fahrenheit. And she went to the MFA. Okay.
I went to the MFA because I had to get some wood, pine shavings.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to make sure all the animals, everything.
That's not
okay.
normally where we go. She just kind of.
I just went there because it was close in the town. So I go in there and then I look down on the counter.
She's gonna tell you.
I look down at the counter and I see all these beautiful plants. Looks like this. Here, I have to rip it a little bit so you can see what I saw.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh my gosh. So I look and I see all these beautiful plants. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I know what I can do. This one and 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 this one, this one, this one, this one. And I'm looking at it and then I'm thinking,
name a couple.
Well, there's all chickweed and henbit. I'm going to kind of go over some of these things, maybe give you guys something to think about. Wild carrot, they also call that Queen Anne's lace. A lot of you guys might know about that. Goldenrod, chicory, curly dock, prickly pear, persimmon. Just on and on and on. There's tons of these things. They grow pretty much. You'll find a lot of these things all over the world, United States. They're all over the place. Passion flower. Passion flower is another good to help relax you. They put it in a lot of tea blends. So there are all these things, but basically what this is just basically how to get rid of them.
It's a kill sheet.
It's a cool kill sheet, yeah. Just a spot spray and to kill all these beautiful plants and all the things that they can do. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's crazy. I looked at it, I went in there, I asked the guy, I said, that's really cool. Do you have any extras? Or can I take a picture of this? And then I looked a little farther and I was like, no, this is where they want to kill them. So I kind of thought tonight might be good. I have a couple books that I want to show you guys and go over maybe a couple of these things, or maybe for some of you guys that might want to get into learning more about foraging, because a lot of this stuff is just in our yard. It's kind of crazy. You look at dandelion and how it's a bitter herb. It helps with digestion. It's one of the first things to grow when we come out of winter. So you look at our bodies and the way, we have been made, we have winter, there's not a lot of greenery and things, but then in the spring, a lot of these things that I'm going to talk about today are going to pop up. They're going to just pop up. And they're not just popping up just to pop up. There's a reason a lot of these first pop up, especially like the dandelion, because it has so much nutrition in it to help you. It's also help with detoxification from the winter months, and then everything's going to start growing again. So I want you guys to think about things. You know, we pay people to spray our yards, you know, and put all these poisons all around us, when we need to embrace a lot of these things and just let them grow naturally. Because besides that, all of our pollinators, the moths, the bees, you know, everything uses a lot of these things, and then we're spraying and killing them. And I know a lot of you guys know this, but it was just kind of funny when I went in and I saw these beautiful plants in the picture, and I told Doug, I'm like, it was just kind of crazy because I have a total different mindset now that we've been doing this, and I'm using the plants around us to give us nourishment, to give us medicine, to keep us healthy. So for a lot of you guys maybe that are thinking about getting into this or want to get into it a little bit more, I just kind of want to go over a few things. I'm not going to really go over, you know, I'm just going to go over it very briefly, but you guys do your research on a lot of these things. Get some books. I'll talk about some resources a little bit later, but just think about this, because a lot of times you're like, well, I know about that, but what happens if you're don't have access to be able to go, you know, go to the grocery store and get some vegetables or something? Maybe some of these things I'm going to talk about today, you could make a salad with, or you could use it, or maybe medicinally or topically, or this is something that you might want to get into for a job. You know, maybe you could start a business where you're making salves like out of chickweed to help with rashes or eczema or something like that. You know, some of these things could, you know, be a little business for you. So I just kind of want to go around and look at your comments and all that. Well, Doug is eating because he just got home. All right. So let's see. I don't know.
You guys, in case you're not picking up what we're putting down, they're using big ag to destroy and kill all of our herbal plants that take care of us.
I mean, they're all
in the guides of growing, you know, some kind of BS genetically modified corn that they want to put in your gas tank and feed to you that makes you sick. I mean, it's literally quite amazing to watch.
And here's another little thing too. Dr. Jones, Patrick Jones, he will be at our conference that we're going to be having May 16th and 17th. So if you guys are wanting to learn, he does.
Let me leave a link for him.
Yeah, you guys, if you want to come, because he will do herb walks. He takes everyone and he goes out and he'll show everybody, so you're able to identify this, and then you can go and learn about all that stuff.
Y'all, this conference that we have, this is our 8th year. And everything that we do is totally included. There's no extra upsells or nothing like that. You come to the conference, we're going to do herb walks, we're going to butcher animals, we're going to do the whole nine.
And then even at the conference, I have, you know, Weston Price will have a booth there, and also Maureen Diaz, who is with Weston Price, and also she has her own thing called God's Good Table, will be there, and she is a wealth of knowledge about, you know, yogurt and making like kombucha and ginger beer and anything cheese and I mean anything you'd want to know about making your foods and about like traditional diets. She's a wonderful speaker, and so she's going to be there too, doing, you know, lots of really good talks.
It's May 16th and 17th.
Yeah, May 16th and 17th. So you can go on lots of herb walks. So if you're wanting to know, because a lot of people are like, I'm not sure what this plant is or not.
We're going to be butchering rabbits and chickens.
Yes, Jeremy Chambers from Independence Acres will be there. He'll be talking all about rabbits. So if you're wanting to get into rabbits, he's like
Lots
really
of
good.
stuff. We're going to have all kinds of information.
Yep.
And it's limited seating.
Okay, so here's the first one. My pictures are kind of little. I want to talk about, it's chickweed. It's right here. This is the first one I want to talk about. So chickweed, it usually comes out in the spring. It's a nutritious edible. So it's also one that you could just eat. So it has like calcium, potassium, iron. It's got a vitamin C in it. It's something that you could just, you know, just pull apart and put it on a salad and just eat it, you know, and you can just put it maybe on a sandwich. But also it's good for the skin. A lot of people will do a chickweed salve. You can use some beeswax, melt it down. I mean, there's tons of things you can find about that on YouTube. Making a chickweed salve, it is really does well with anything with the skin or rashes, psoriasis, eczema, and things like that. So when you have this at your disposal, you know, in your yard, you can get your chickweed and go ahead and make some of these things. So chickweed is one. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, I can't stand that. It just grows everywhere. It's in people's yards. It grows in your garden. So it is a wonderful one. It's also helpful as a digestive aid or for your respiratory system. So a lot of these things that we'll be talking about, maybe if they're not in your neck of the woods, another one that I might be talking about could be in your neck of the woods that you might find that could be very helpful. One thing I know a lot of people do like the chickweed for is it kind of helps you to be regular. It could help with, you know, any kind of digestive things too. It's good for inflammation. So chickweed is one, and nobody likes it, so they want to kill it, but we don't want to kill it. You want to let these things grow, let them go, let them reseed themselves and let them do their thing. And then if you're living with HOA, maybe you need to move and find somebody else, you know, or someplace else that doesn't have an HOA possibly, so that you can let a lot of this stuff grow, because you could use a lot of it. And some of it is just beautiful, actually. Another thing that you can do, and one of my favorite ways to do a lot of herbs, is making a tea. So the same thing, you can make a tea out of the chickweed and you can drink it, or a cream. So you could do a cream, or you can even infuse it and make it into oil. All right. The next one, and here's one that everyone sees. If you're driving and you look in early spring and you look at all the fields, the farm fields, and you see it looks like beautiful and purple all over. It's usually two things. It could be something called purple henbit, or it could be purple dead nettle. So those are the two that you're going to see, and it looks like a big blanket of purple. And the henbit, the way I can tell a difference, because they do kind of look, I'm going to show you. I don't know if you can see very good on this one. Let's see if you can see it. That's the henbit right there. It has these little purple flowers, and the henbit, the way I can tell, because they both have little kind of purpley flowers, the henbit is scalloped, sort of like the tail feathers of a hen. So, and then the purple dead nettle has more pointy leaves. But those two, the purple dead nettle and the henbit, are also really good. They're loaded in lots of vitamins. You have vitamin A, you have vitamin C, you have vitamin K. It also is a really good one. Like if you're out and about, you can just pop it in your mouth. It does make a wonderful tea too. A lot of the stuff you could get and you can dry out in the spring, because spring's going to be here before you know it. So you guys got to be prepared, because what happens, a lot of the stuff, especially the dandelions, they get bitter as we move on in the season. So you want to get those green. So if you can get them and you can dehydrate them, dry these things out, put them in jars, and then you can save them when you need them to make a tea, or if you're going to use them for anything, if somebody wants to make a tincture or anything like that. So the henbit, it kind of tastes, it tastes kind of like a green. You can go ahead and dehydrate them, or you, like I was saying earlier, you can make them into a tea. The dead nettle is really good, like as an anti-inflammatory. Okay. And then a lot of people like the dead nettle. You could use them on stings or bites. So when you're out and about, I know a lot of people have heard about the plantain, you know, you could chew it up, or if you don't want to chew it up, you can just kind of really mash it up or chop it up and then put it on a bite or a sting, because it'll help with that, because it's good for inflammation. I know in the past, a lot of people were using it for kidney health. It's a natural diuretic. It could help like an antihistamine with allergies and things like that, because look, it's coming out. All this stuff is coming out in the spring when everything is opening up. So it's here for us, because if we need it, it could help you. They also do talk about henbit and dead nettle as it could be also like an energy booster. And I'm still going back to, we've been hibernating in the winter. We come back in the spring. All this thing is popping up. All this stuff is to give you nutrition. It's loaded in, like I was saying, your vitamins, and it's very helpful that way. So Those two, and they're very beautiful. And I know all of you guys have seen it in the farm fields, and when we're coming out of winter. The next one I want to talk about, if I can find it, is Daisy Fleabane. Where are you? Now, Daisy Fleabane, it's a, you would say it's a weed, and you see it a lot of times. It's in the fields. It looks like a little daisy. Chamomile looks like a little daisy. There's a few other types of plants or herbs that you're going to see that look like that. The fleabane, and like I say, we need to get some books, kind of look into it, come on an herb walk with Dr. Jones, maybe find a class at the conservation department, or find maybe a local foraging class if you want to learn more about some of these things. But the one thing that kind of helps when you're looking at the Daisy Fleabane is it's going to have alternating leaves in it, and it has very, very thin petals. Like a daisy has a bigger petal. It kind of looks more like string. And now I don't know where it is. Where are you? There it is. So here's a Daisy Fleabane right there. So a long time ago, it was used because it does kind of have an aroma to it. They were using it, it's called fleabane. They were using as like a bug repellent. So a lot of the old timers used to hang the fleabane from their porches to help. A lot of them would put them in their mattresses or in their homes. But we don't really do that as much right now because they're saying it may work, but it really isn't the best, I guess. Well, I mean, people don't use it as much for that. So it is a native plant. You're going to see it everywhere. It pops up early in spring, so that's a good time to start collecting it. It likes to be in disturbed areas, so you'll see it growing. Like if there's an area of pasture that maybe has been eaten down a lot, it'll definitely start going there. It does make a incredible, because it does have this kind of aroma to it. So if you go and you snip the flowers off and you put it in, you can make a beautiful tea. It makes a very aromatic tea with it. I like it actually. A lot of people in some of these herbs will put a sweetener in it if you put some raw honey or maple syrup. But honestly, this kind of has a nice little flavor to it where I don't ever put anything in anyway, but it just really kind of makes it taste good. Okay. Let's see. Now, another one that you see all over the roads is called chicory. It has that really cool purpley blue flower right here.
They make coffee out of it. Chicory. So
chicory or chicory root, it's a substitute for coffee. So, long time ago when they weren't able to get coffee, like in the Civil War, and, it just goes back throughout history, and they weren't able to get coffee, they would use the chicory root because it has a similar kind of taste to coffee. So and a lot of it, I don't know the whole entire story, but like in New Orleans, it's like a big thing there. If you go to New Orleans, is anyone from New Orleans here? And you can find they serve chicory root at a lot of the different places there, because I think a lot of it, it's just still popular there, because it kind of, I don't know if it didn't originate there, but it has a lot of history in New Orleans. It has anti-inflammatory properties, and it's full of fiber, which is called inulin as well. And just know, and also remember, all the things that I'm talking about, check, if you're allergic to certain things, if you're pregnant or nursing, always check, with an herbalist or a naturopath or a healthcare provider, just to make sure it's okay if you're going to start doing some of these things. Now, one that everyone is just disgusted with, and especially the farmers, is your milk thistle or your thistles. So when you see them, I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. So the thistle, milk thistle, it's that prickly plant. It starts to grow up. It's got very prickly little leaves on it, and at the end it's going to go ahead and it gets like these purple flower with little prickly things on the top. So the milk thistle is an incredible herb for the liver. So it has this compound called silymarin, in it, and that's what's good to help with the liver, and it can help to regrow the liver, and it's just very helpful just for a liver detoxification. A lot of people make tinctures out of it, and it helps to support the immune system. So a lot of people, you know, possibly if you're a diabetic, it helps to lower the blood sugar. So one of my favorite plants, I really do love the milk thistle. Most people don't like it in your yard because it hurts. It's very prickly. So if you're going to deal with it, you need to make sure that you're using gloves or something like that. Okay. Okay, I'm just looking at some comments here. So Sue says, my mom used to pick dandelion for the leaves. She said it can go in salad raw or saute like spinach. Yeah, Sue, it's amazing. I have in my cookbook, I have a really good recipe that I did with goat cheese, and you can use pumpkin seeds or you can use almonds. And what else did I put in there? Oh, I chopped up some dates because it's a bitter herb. So if you kind of put like the goat cheese and the dates, you have something sweet with it too and salty, it goes really good together. So I make a really good salad like that. You can use the, going back to the dandelions, you can use the flowers and make them into a tea also. But yeah, dandelion's an incredible thing. And as well, we were talking about the chicory a little earlier. You can make a coffee out of it. Same thing, you can use the whole plant of a dandelion. You can use the flower, you can use the stem, you can use the leaves, and you can use the root. And the dandelion has a very long root to it. So you can roast that as well as the chicory, and you kind of get a very dark kind of coffee tasting drink also. So a lot of people will do the dandelion or the chicory as a substitute for coffee because it is very dark and incredible dandelion for the kidneys. So love it. All right. All right. Next one. Everyone knows about Queen Anne's lace, right? Right here. Right there. They also call it wild carrot. So a lot of people didn't know it's in the carrot family. So if you go and look at it where it's growing in the wild and you look down in the ground and you can see, you kind of pull it out and it looks like a little carrot in there. You smell it. And that's kind of a good determinant to know because there is something called poison hemlock that you're going to see out in the wild. And it's a little different. The stalk is a lot different. It's kind of purpley with some green in it. And then the flowers there's a lot more clusters of the flowers. But the Queen Anne's lace, if you go down and you smell it and all that, or you pull it out of the ground, if it smells like a carrot, that's the wild carrot. That's the one, the Queen Anne's lace. And a lot of times in the middle of the flower, you'll have this little purple thing. So same thing, when you get them young, when they first come out, you can use that as a carrot. You could get a bunch of them if the kids go out and you can steam them and have like little wild carrots. So they're good. The roots are edible when they're young. It is also a good diuretic. It's good for your kidneys. And then you could also making an infusion, and you can boil the leaves and the flowers and also the roots, and you can turn that into a drink. Okay, so that's what you could do with that one. Now, this is one of our, well, I guess, most popular teas that we have at the Missouri Tea Company that Doug and I have, and it's called mullein. So mullein, where are you? I know it's here somewhere. There it is. There's mullein right there. So mullein is an incredible herb. They have used it for asthma. They've used it for bronchitis. They've used it for a cough, inflammation. The great thing about mullein is it helps the body repel mucus. So if you got mucus, mullein will be good for you. I was just with one of the little Amish girls, and she had some mullein tea, and her little ones were drinking it, and the kids said that's their favorite tea. It does have a really unique flavor. Like if you go and you taste it, you'll drink it and you'll know that that's mullein tea. Out of anything that you've tried, all these millions of things, you can tell it has a really unique flavor. I enjoy it. Actually, I have been having it, especially with this crazy fog and everything that we went through. I've been drinking a lot of the mullein tea. All right. Now, here's a good one. I wanted to talk a little bit about blackberries. Let's find them. Where are you? Now, this is just a picture of the flower, but here's the blackberry right here. Now, blackberries are very invasive. I know on Washington, Oregon. A lot of people are like, oh, we can't stand those things because they're very invasive. They're everywhere. However, blackberry is incredible. And I'm not going to talk about the berry because we all know berries are wonderful. They're a good fruit because they are lower in sugar. They're not going to spike your blood sugar. They're loaded with a lot of antioxidants and flavonoids, and they're just incredible for the body. I'm talking about the leaf. Most people have more access, I think, to blackberries than they would raspberries. And I know a lot of people might be familiar with like red raspberry tea. It's good for women's health, and it's just loaded with a lot of nutrition. But blackberry has many of the same properties to it. And I know a lot of people have a lot of blackberries. They grow everywhere. So the leaves are good for female health. It's good for sore throat. The one cool thing about it is it's great for anti-aging. So it helps to, get rid of those free radicals or causing oxidative damage to our cells. So what about, you have all these blackberries? Let's get some of those leaves, make sure they got some prickles on them, that you get some gloves. Start collecting some of those leaves and drying them out, putting them in jars, and then you can use that as a tea for yourself. And then it's also another amazing one to help with diarrhea.
Diarrhea?
Yeah, so if you're having diarrhea and you need a little help to control that.
Some people hate it most, but I like it on my toast.
Yeah, blackberry leaf tea would be very helpful.
Hold on, we're back to the mullein, M-U-L-L-E-I-N.
Yes.
M-U-L-L. We have some available for you guys if you want to get it while it's hot. I'm dropping a link for you guys in the comments section right now.
Actually,
it's the Missouri Tea Company.
We're going to do a few more tomorrow. So
That's
you can add
giving
more.
it to them now.
Okay. And then the other thing is it's also linked, because it's got good flavonoids in it, it's linked to reduce risks of diseases and cancer. So this is one, it has a nice flavor. I like to mix ginger with everything. Blackberry leaves are just incredible. So if you guys, out of this whole thing today, if you're like, oh my gosh, blackberries, I have blackberry leaves. Blackberry leaves are just incredible. We can all go harvest them. Even let's say you go to one of those in this time when they're in season in the summer, and you go in and you're picking berries like that, then you could just go ahead and pick some of the leaves too if you don't have access to a blackberry patch. There's a lot of people that have them around, or if you even go out in the country and there's some old timers and you can say, can I pick some of your blackberry leaves? And then that way you can have your own blackberry leaves. Okay. All right. All right. Moving on. Trying to read. You guys are going too quick for me. All right. The next one I want to talk about, a lot of you guys in Texas. I know there's a lot of you guys in Texas. There's prickly pear cactuses everywhere, and they can be a nuisance. They got them all over the place. And I know you can grow them everywhere. We can grow them here too, even though we get so cold, but they do come back. So prickly pear cactuses are another one I want to talk about. You harvest those in the springtime. A lot of times you can look up how to prepare them and all that. They say it's a cross between okra and green beans. So that's a thought. It's very sweet. So a lot of people have made, juices, jellies out of it. You can do that with your prickly pear. So if you've never thought about it, there you go. It's loaded in lots of things, your fiber, potassium, vitamin B, vitamin C, magnesium. So that's another good one to think about. So if you're thinking, oh, this is just a prickly cactus, it doesn't have any benefit, they sure do. All right. Now, one that I just love, and this is from, it comes from my Armenian heritage, because this is very popular in Mediterranean cooking. And where is it? I can't find it. Well, I want to talk about sumac. So here's the leaves right here. It produces a beautiful cluster, kind of like mini grapes, and they're a deep crimson red, okay? And these berries, and you hear sumac, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, it could be poisonous. The way you know if sumac is the poisonous one or if it's the good one is the berries are red. So the red berries are the good sumac, and then the white berries are the poisonous ones. Okay. Generally, like all around here, I just, they just start to grow. Like I cultivated a patch down here by our pond, and now I have tons of them, and it looks just beautiful because the leaves get red in the fall. They're beautiful. But you get a cluster of these berries, it makes an incredible lemonade. It's loaded in the flavonoids, filled with lots of nutrition, antioxidants, things to help, to help with your immune system and help with anti-aging and all that good stuff. But the best way to prepare it, I'll just give you, if you haven't done it before, or maybe you've done it before and it wasn't good, do not pour boiling water over your sumac berries, because it will give it it's just a bitter, it messes up the taste. So when I do the sumac, you want to do a cold infusion. So when you put the berries in there, and generally, I've done it years ago where I would put the whole cluster in there. Don't do that. Cut them off and don't put the stem in there. It'll taste 1,000 times better. So you just cut the berries off, and then make sure when you put the berries in your sumac lemonade that you use the reddest, because as it sits and gets a little older, they're going to get more of like a browner red, I guess you could say. You want the brighter red is going to give you the more lemony flavor, because there's like a coating on the berries that is kind of a citrusy lemon, kind of sour tasting. And then that way you're going to put the berries and just let it soak overnight. You can let it soak for 24 hours. And then if you want to put any honey or, whatever you want to put in it to make it taste a little sweeter, you can. And it's an incredible lemonade. So that's one of my favorite things I like to do. But the thing that I always do, if anyone's familiar, there's a za'atar. It's a seasoning that's like oregano, and it has the sumac in it, and it has thyme, sesame seed, marjoram, and it has all those flavors together. And that's for a Mediterranean thing. You can put it on your vegetables, you can put it on your meats. And so I like to get it and I like to dry it out. I grind it up, and then I use it and I put it in my seasoning blends. So that's another thing you can do. And then that way you're utilizing this wonderful thing that we have in nature that's giving us good health also. All right. It's also good. I like to put it in dips. So I do a lot with yogurt. So you can put some fresh garlic in there, and then you can put that in there because it kind of gives it a sour taste. Okay. All right. Now, there's like thousands of more plants that we can talk about, but you guys can kind of do a little bit more on looking at that. But I want to show you some books that you might want to be interested in, just to kind of get your toes wet. And I know a lot of you guys might already be doing a lot of this, but we do work with Dr. Jones, and he's going to be at our conference. And he did do a book called The Homegrown Herbalist Guide to Medicinal Weeds. It's right here. If you go to the Homegrown Herbalist, if you go to offgoodwithdougandstacy.com, you can go to the shop tab, and then you can find his stuff, and then you can get a discount on some of these things. But this is a really good book. He's got some good pictures in here of a lot of the plants, some of the plants that we've talked about tonight, and a whole lot more. All right. As well as he has some other things about like some home remedies, and that's called The Homegrown Herbalist. So there are some home remedies. So if you're not having any of these books, with what's going on in the world and everything, I would highly recommend stocking up, starting your library, because there might be a point where, you're going to need some of this stuff. Okay. So go to the Homegrown Herbalist, and then, like I say, you could go ahead. It'll take you directly to his link, and then you can get a discount on that. Now, a couple other books. This is called The Field Guide to Edible Wild Plants by Bradford Angier. The Field Guide to Medicinal Plants. Angier, Angier. And this has got some nice pictures too. As well as, for a lot of you guys, there are apps on the phone that if you take a picture of something, it will tell you. And that's very helpful. Another one that I really like is the Peterson Field Guide to Medicinal Plants and Herbs by Stephen Foster and James Duke. The Peterson Field Guide. This is an incredible book. I really like this one. I have this version in a bigger one, and this is one that I can take with me. It's a smaller one, but the pictures on this one are incredible. They did a good job with that one. Okay, so that's the Peterson Field Guide. They also had the field guides for even different places where you live in the country. And here's one. This is actually just it's a good book. The pictures are in black and white, but if you were familiar with Buell Gibbons way back when, it's called Stalking the Wild Asparagus. He has some good old-timer recipes in there, and it's just a nice read. So this is a really good book too. Okay? You guys remember Buell Gibbons? All right. So there's that one. Okay? Yes. What is it? Happy Eagle says henbit and dandelion all over our backyard in spring. Yep. So you guys need to start collecting some of these things. Okay? Drying them out, putting them in jars. All right, let's see. I'm way behind everybody here. Yeah, Roaring Lion says thistle's fantastic, great for nerve and pain issues. Yes, definitely is. Oh, Shady Tree says milk thistle is yummy, tastes like asparagus. Isn't that funny how some of that stuff is you look at it and it looks like it's so dangerous. And then when you go to eat it, you're like, or, use it, it's like, wow. Yeah, and here's another one. I was talking about the fleabane. It looks like a daisy. Chamomile looks like a little daisy too, but it has like bigger petals on it. And dandelion is one that can grow pretty wild, as well as something called pineapple weed. It's littler and it grows in the pasture, and it smells just like chamomile. They call it pineapple weed, but it does smell just like it, and it kind of has a similar action. So some people are like, I don't have chamomile. If you have pineapple weed growing in your pasture, and they're like little daisies, and it smells like chamomile, it'll do pretty much the same thing. It does help to relax you and all that kind of stuff. Okay? How do you get the little bugs out of the dandelions? On a lot of that stuff, if you just soak it in a little vinegar and water, it usually helps. Oh, Bradford Angier, edible plants and learning to eat in the woods. Yep. So a lot of these guys are going to have a lot of different books that have, like James Duke has another great book. I have that back there. It's called The Green Pharmacy. Here, I'll get that for you too. So this is another good one. So a lot of these authors in these books are going to have more than one book. So this is an incredible book. This book has been around and been reprinted a million billion times. That's another good book. Okay. All right. Oh, Dave says, I haven't really seen a good plant ID app that I would want to pay for. Most can't identify wild plants very well. That's true. That's why I'm telling you, Dave, if you could get a class, like in your community, there's a lot, the conservation department or the fish and wildlife, a lot of times they'll offer these classes. Or if you can get in contact with someone in your area that's an herbalist that'll take you on a herb walk. You can, I know a lot of people around here, you can just hire them and they don't charge that much. It's definitely worth it. And if you get a few people of your friends and everyone pays $20, it's so worth it. So you guys can start doing that. And then that way, when you actually, you know how it is when you get hands-on and you're doing this yourself and you're actually seeing it, it makes the biggest difference. The biggest difference. Oh, yeah, Armenian, you grew up with Sarkeesians? Yep. All Armenians have IAN or YAN at the end of their last name. All right. Yes, Cajun. Oh, there we go. We got a New Orleans person. Louisiana loves its coffee and chicory. Yep. To Helium 119, go to your local nursery. They usually have classes in the winter. There's another great resource too. Now's the time because we're still in winter months. You guys need to start educating yourself because we really don't know what's going to be happening in our future. So this way you guys can be in charge of yourself and you can, come up, start getting into this medicine. And if some of you guys are still freaked out about it, you can still go to the website with Dr. Jones. He has tinctures that'll tell you all the things and how to use them. He has a big survival kit. He's got little mini ones just with like 10 herbs or tinctures that you can use. So those are just really great ideas because what if you don't have access to, going to the doctor? We just always have to be proactive instead of reactive and just be prepared. I'm so into that and just learning and learning and learning, getting as many books as I can get on my shelves, whatever I can do. All right. Cheryl wants to know, what is the shelf life of the mullein tea? So Cheryl, just like anything else, just like your herbs that you have, that you use when you cook with, any of the different things, it's, you don't want to keep it in a like boiling hot place. You don't want to put it in direct sunlight. If you can keep it in a cool, dark place, that's the best that you can. A lot of these herbs, the only thing that starts happening to them, after, the first year, second year, third year, they're going to lose a little of the effectiveness, but they're still going to be okay. Okay? All right. Yes, Mary wants, where's Dougie? He just came back, as you can see. He just got home like a second ago, and he's been going. Yeah, Matt says prickly pear jelly rocks. Yeah, Mary says, seems like all berry leaves are really good for you. Raspberry leaves too are undermentioned. And you know what, Mary and everybody else? Another one that's absolutely incredible is mulberry leaves. The mulberry leaves are wonderful. Very, very good for you too. So if you have a mulberry tree, save some of those leaves when they're coming up fresh and all that. Get some of those leaves way before the berries come, and you can dehydrate those and use those in a tea. That's another excellent resource. Okay. Are you eating? He's having dessert. I made some of those. I hadn't made dessert in so long, and I made what do you call it? The dates, the medjool dates.
So, if you guys just showed up, which looks like a lot of you did, there's not many people here tonight for some reason. But they're literally trying to wipe out all of our herbal plants that are good for us using Big Ag. So Big Ag is taking out herbal plants that are good for us, so we have to depend on Big Pharma. See how that works?
Oh, and then here, Kathy's talking about the prickly pear cactus, the meat of the cactus, dice it up and cook it in scrambled eggs. That sounds good. Shady Tree says prickly pear cactus pads can be added about 4 or 5 per tree hole to provide moisture in the desert climate. Bury the pads under a new tree with 4 inches of dirt so that you don't directly touch the tree roots. Yeah, that's awesome. No, awesome. Awesome. I know when you drive through Texas, they're just all over the place. Oh, TL says, I use sumac berries to smoke my bees to make mites drop off. Yep. Another thing you can use for your bees.
Pine needles.
Pine needles, that's what we use.
Pine needles are free and everywhere, and it's so easy to use. And you pack that thing full of them, and it really works good for the bees. If you guys want to get some mullein tea or some 100% beeswax candles that absolutely took the whole stink out of our house, because if you missed it, we talked about our carbon monoxide poisoning episode last night.
I know, because when we got up when that happened earlier, and it was beeping, and I go down and Molly has her head off the bed and she's laying there because she's laying right by it. I thought, oh my gosh, is she okay? And she was fine.
And that's why we have a carbon monoxide detector.
I know.
But I turned that candle on at 3 o'clock this morning, 3:30. It's been burning ever since.
I don't know how it's been going so long without it going over. It's been burning literally, and I have not blown it out.
Yeah, and it's just going great because we have the longest, best burning candles in the business. And that's at offgridwithdougandstacy.com, and then hit the shop tab or the Missouri Tea Company, whichever tickles your fancy. And I don't have anything except for I was up early this morning and I've been pushing snow all day by myself pretty much. And I fell too. It hurt my wrist.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, man. It got slick as snot out there.
Well, sure. It's like all icy and snowy.
So, then I just ate.
We'll have to go ahead and fix you up with some arnica or something.
Yeah, I need some bone and tissue. 1,000 times the milligrams.
Did we tell that? We didn't tell our story yet.
You could tell them.
Okay, since we're talking about herbal remedies.
Herbal remedy.
Should I even get my bottle out?
No.
Okay, so we have a local, two Amish couples that there was a very bad accident. One person died from it, and the two couples.
The driver of that. So we talked about this a little bit, maybe on another show, but here's the gist. I was coming home from doing something, and I came upon this accident right kind of when the sun was going down at about 5 o'clock, 4:30. And it was kind of close to the house. I had to make a right to go to the house, and this thing was right at the four-way, right? So it's a major highway going this way, and then there's a stop sign going this way, and then you continue on going that way. It's like a feeder highway. And I came upon this little setup here, and I saw the swirling lights, and then I did notice the helicopter, and I was like, oh, no. And so I look over there. There's an 18-wheeler, and there's a white van. And then I see the white van is totally crushed down on the top. Oh, my goodness, man. My heart sank because the white van is notorious to be with the Amish. And then I saw them on the ground pushing on some chests. I had to make my right-hand turn so I couldn't clog up the road and everything. Said a prayer for them right there, man. If there's any Amish in there, whoever's in there, hopefully they'll be okay. They'll make it. Turns out there were two Amish in there. If you're in our university.offgridwithdougandstacy.com, we did a butchering video there, all the blood and everything. And the guy who helped us do that video, that was him. Him and his brother and their wives.
So what happened was...
They airlifted them to the hospitals.
And so the one brother was injured very bad, and they were wanting to attach his head to his shoulder. The one doctor wanted to do that because he had severed one of the ligaments to his neck, I guess. And I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's kind of what it was. And he was like, you're not going to be able to move her. And he's a young man. And so he's wanted a second opinion. And the doctor,
no, hold on. They said we're going to have to weld it.
I told you.
Yeah.
I said it. Put it
He'll
on.
never be able to move his...
I said that.
Yeah, turn his head.
Yeah. So he didn't want to have a second opinion. The surgeon got very upset.
He got mad.
But he ended up, he left the hospital, got a second opinion, and the other doctor said that, they'll have to keep the brace on him. Halo thing on for a while. And then like 6 months or something like that. And so he went home. His wife and him were living with the parents, and
well, he had actually just finishing up building their brand new dream house because he just
this is the other one. This is the other brother I'm talking about. This is not that one. But yeah. So that doesn't make
they have
difference.
the two brothers are on the move.
Yeah.
Basically.
So basically,
but not anymore.
His mom, they're being taken care of, and he went back after 6 weeks to go to this doctor. And when he came back, I was just talking to one of the ladies, and she says she was talking to him. He comes back and he doesn't have the brace on after 6 weeks.
But did you tell him?
I'm not there yet. Just wait.
We should have said how his mom was taking care of him.
I'm just waiting. I'm going to tell that. And so he comes back without it. And so basically what happened was the doctor had him take it off, and he was able to move his head and do all this kind of stuff after 6 weeks.
Like a miracle.
And he's like, what's going on?
It's a Christmas miracle.
And the mom had been giving him the bone and tissue formula, which is a whole bunch of different herbs. And when you do that, if you read
that's Dr. Christopher's bone and tissue formula.
I did
We're
that
not
with
affiliates. Yeah. I've taken it on my ribs and my fingers.
Any kind of tissue injury, bone injury, or anything, it's like, you need to take like a lot. And I think I should show you. Did I show them last time about my books from Mary Weaver?
Yep.
Did we do that last week?
We did.
So the Mary Weaver books, like Be Your Own Doctor, Be Your Own Doctor 2, Be Your Own Pediatrician, and Backyard Garden, or whatever, I can't remember the title of it. Like in some of her, she talked about that too, about taking it like 3, 4, 5, 6 times a day. You take like 5 pills, 8 pills. You take a lot of these pills.
Way more than you think, yeah.
So the mom was giving her son and the daughter-in-law, because the daughter-in-law had bad injuries too, they had to take a rod and put it up in her leg till it could heal, and they were going to have to put all these plates and stuff in her feet and legs. And so when she went back, the doctor took the rod out and was like, you don't need plates or anything. It's all healed. So they had both been taking this bone and tissue formula and, taking a lot over this period of time. And lo and behold, they're pretty good. And then they asked him, for him, was there anything that he can't do because he broke a bunch of ribs? I mean, he has lot of injuries. And the doctor just said, you can't climb, she told me, and then he can't climb or get jerked, get jolted or anything like that, and just to be careful. And pretty much that was it. And I was like, whoa. And I can't tell you the countless success stories that I have heard about that Dr. Christopher's bone and tissue formula. So what I do is if people have problems, I always make sure I have extras of that, and I always buy it, and I'll give it to people, and I always have it on hand just in case something happens like that, because it works so incredible. So that was my little story with that. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Nope, I don't have any colds or any drama going on. I don't get sick. And Kent, mind your manners. All right. It's Dr. Christopher's bone and tissue formula. Just Google it.
It's like a green bottle, and white bottle.
And we don't really take it regularly. You just take it when you get jacked up.
No, it is only for emergencies.
Yeah, it's not just for popping. We're not just pushing pills to be popping. This is if you get jacked up, like maybe for my wrist, but I don't know. I'll probably just let this chill, put some little rub on it or
Arnica.
something.
No, I'll put some
Give
on
me
it.
some kisses.
Oh, let me see it.
And I'll probably be all right. You don't see nothing.
Oh, yeah, I'll put some arnica on it.
And yeah, she likes to put arnica on it. But that other stuff is for like heavy duty breaking ribs, any kind of internal busting up. Man. And they were really giving it to him good. The mom was while he was down and out. And the other brother, you didn't tell him that.
Well, we don't know the whole thing.
Basically, the other brother who wasn't really as regimented because he's a little more of a piss ass. He was like, I'm going to do it. And so apparently he actually healed as good as his other brother.
Well, I bet he's doing it now.
Some guys are a little more hard-headed, and that's just how it is. I know, that's just sometimes
you just think you're going to heal.
It's not a bad thing, it's just how it is.
But, a lot of people just think you're going to heal, but, we all need a little help, and a lot of these herbs are amazing.
Where does Doug get the big glass jugs? I get them from Gary's friend who's a wino. And these are, apparently these are the wine glasses.
They're Gallo.
Comes in wine.
Gallo wine.
Gallo wine. And when she polishes them off, she gives them to Gary, and Gary gives them to me.
And the one thing I was telling, I think I did tell you guys, they charge $24 for those bottles.
Can you believe it?
At Whole Foods, which is ridiculous. So you could go buy some Gallo wine if you want to, and then you can get a glass jug. Or they also make apple juice or apple cider that you can buy at some of the stores, that you can get those glass bottles like that too.
And you can have also a little smaller one there, about kombucha bottle Stacy has over there.
You can get them in the half gallon too.
And Brittany Bauer, we're live every Monday night, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, and sometimes we might be running 5 or 10 minutes late. And been known to run 15 or 20, but we do try to show up.
Brian and Brendan Hulk says, 9-year-old granddaughter has a nosebleed from playing outside today. Snow, help. So I can help you, because actually our grandson was probably that age when I used that one. He had a nosebleed that would not stop. And cayenne pepper will stop a nosebleed in 10 seconds. So, when they're bleeding, the little kids will be like, please help me, help me, help me. So you can put an eighth of a teaspoon in a little bit of water, warm water, and just have them drink it. And then I say, count to 10. This is what I did with my grandson. But always do your research on this stuff. You can, learn more about it. But this is what I did with him. And he just wanted to stop. And by the time he got to 9, it totally stopped. So
the capsules might be.
What capsules?
For Dr. Christopher's
bone tissue. They are capsules.
He was talking about some ointment. We're talking about the capsules.
So so if you do have something topical, you can use the ointment, and you can use the actual capsules. But if you had some bad internal issue, like broken bones and stuff, I would definitely go for the capsules.
And Kelly, absolutely, we have the copper mugs. Did you know the copper mugs? Have you heard about this? Copper mugs are actually good for your health if you let the water just soak in them. According to Ayurvedic medicine, drinking water stored in a copper vessel, such as the Doug and Stacy copper mug from the Missouri Tea Company, 100% copper, on an empty stomach detoxifies and cleanses your digestive system first thing in the morning. Copper helps stimulate the stomach muscles to move waste products through the intestines and out of the body. Now, I will tell you, I'm not really a fan of liquid copper, but I like to get it from my drinking vessels. And so I'm just going to finish reading to you this because it's actually kind of cool. Copper kills bacteria, the 2 common bacteria that causes serious illness. Copper also helps prevent bacteria that causes the squirts, aka diarrhea, from drinking bad water. Drinking from copper cups is shown to boost the immune system and improve digestion. And did you know that it actually helps you maintain your skin, eye, and hair health because it is one of the main pigments in your maligmas.
What are you talking about? Yeah, it is copper. Copper.
Yeah, melanonin.
Good for your melanin.
Yeah.
It's really good. It helps your hair grow too.
And they will tarnish if you do get them. So if you want to learn how to clean them, also when you purchase it, just scroll down and you can see how there are cleaning directions. But tarnishing is 100% totally normal. So get your copper cup today.
Jennifer S. says, what can I do with Rose of Sharon? Jennifer S., that's probably one of my favorite plants around. The cool thing is if you have a Rose of Sharon or you know someone has Rose of Sharon, the little bitty little sticks, volunteer sticks will pop up. Just pull it out, go and plant it. I've planted the little Rose of Sharon sticks any time of the year. I mean, it's good to do it in the spring, early spring or, later in the fall to get through, winter. But I've planted them all times and they usually always do good. You just water them. Rose of Sharon is incredible. The leaf, you can saute the leaves. The flowers are what I think are absolutely amazing. I think I did a video. Do you remember the name of it? I made poppers out of, like poppers, the jalapeno poppers.
Oh my gosh, you're talking about ancient Chinese.
Yeah, I did a video a long time ago about making poppers with the Rose of Sharon flowers.
Put that in there, Rose of Sharon flowers off Grid Doug, and it'll pop up.
But the flowers taste, I just love them. Like they're opening. You can eat the leaves. The leaves, they're a very tasty leaf. It's probably one of my favorite flowers. You could do a lot with them. A lot of people will, when you get them, when they're almost, when they're kind of closed, almost opening, you can put batter around them and fry them up in some ghee or something, and you can bread them. You can do a lot of really cool things with them. Put the cream cheese in them.
That's all I put in. Rose of Sharon, off Grid Doug. Boom, first one.
Yeah, I did
homemade ranch dressing and eating flowers. Then we did another one called Foraging Flowers for Food. Right? No one cared about watching them back then.
I love Rose of Sharon. It has a beautiful taste. It is one of my favorite, and it's in the hibiscus family. So it makes a beautiful tea, really pretty color too. You can make tea out of them. So Rose of Sharon will give you that gift all summer long, and they bloom all summer. So Rose of Sharon is another incredible thing that you can grow in your yard, and it's really, really, really easy to grow.
Yeah.
Really easy to grow. Angie says you can also use peach leaves. Yeah, a lot of these fruits, they have good leaves.
The bees love it too. It's great for pollinators. The hummingbirds,
butterflies, everybody. Oh,
everybody taps it.
Yep.
How do you clean the inside of the copper pitcher? The same way you would clean the copper mug. So if you want to, you can use this link. Go check out our cleaning instructions and then apply it to any copper vessel or copper that you have. Okay. Stacy, do you think Dr. Christopher's bone and tissue formula would be good for bone density loss? No.
No, I wouldn't do it for that. No. The big thing is who's that? Murray? Murray, you need to make sure you're getting outside. You need morning sunlight, afternoon sunlight, evening sunlight. Go for a walk, get outside, cold, hot, whatever. Make sure you're getting out. That's very, very, very important. And because you need some weight bearing exercise too. and make sure that you're getting some good grass-fed meat, and you're eating well, no fried foods, and just eating good, but getting outside. You need to get that sunlight. It's important. And then look into structured water too. Oh, and then a lot of people, I'll go over the books again. So any of the Peterson field guides are excellent for foraging and learning about the plants. Stalking the Wild Asparagus by Yule Gibbons. Okay, this is another just cool book. This is the James Duke, The Green Pharmacy. This has been printed a million times. The Green Pharmacy by James Duke. Field Guide to Edible Wild Plants by Bradford Angier. And then he's written some other foraging books too. And then you can go to our link, off-grid with DougandStacy.com.
Dropping it right now.
The Homegrown Herbalist. He had the Homegrown Herbalist Guide to Medicinal Weeds.
Yep, just scroll down and you'll see the Homegrown Herbalist, and that link saves you money.
And then also he's got one with some herbal remedies. It's called the Homegrown Herbalist too. Okay, so that's Dr. Patrick Jones. Okay, so you can go there and get that also. And then,
of course, with this stuff like the bone and tissue stuff, you want to start taking that as soon as the injury occurs. It's hard to try to rewind the clock on that and start taking it after you've already had your injury and maybe it's been healing up wrong and everything. So, but as soon as you have your injury is when you want to start taking that stuff, and lots of it. That's the thing with herbal stuff, is that you need to take lots of it.
And always look, when you read what some of the ingredients are on some of these things, like if you have any allergies to anything, just make sure you're checking out, what the ingredients are and all that, and you're not having any.
Yes, Sue, your fermented cabbage should be fine in the fridge for about a year.
Oh,
Just pull it out and give it a looky look. Sniffy sniff. The nose knows. And your eyes. Yeah, Doc Jones has a new 3rd book out. It's awesome. Doc Jones puts out a lot of stuff. Plus, he was a veterinarian. That's what I like. I'm an old cowboy kind of guy. That's why we live in a log cabin with my little shooter bug right above the window there. Because we're like the old pioneer style life there. Except we do have a little bit of 21st century conveniences. But that's what I like. I like that the veterinarian also took care of the people. Remember that it used to be one doctor took care of the whole town. Now there's a whole town of doctors that takes care of one person. Kind of. The third leading cause of death in America is?
Yeah, medical field, doctors.
Doctors.
Yeah. Or medicine.
Look it up.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, La Petite Maison. How are the animals handling the snow and ice?
It's amazing. If you give them clean water, and keep them in the food, they really don't even seem bothered. Even the little bitty babies.
Well, that's with the sheep, and even it's crazy. The horses, you got a thick coat on them.
Turkeys,
they got ice on them.
The chickens.
Oh my gosh, we had this blizzard and the snow and all that last night. Because the night before we had the bad wind and it was starting and it snowed a little bit, and I had a bunch of guineas and turkeys that had been on the fence that weren't going in. They were younger. And then the next day they all went in, but one turkey stayed out in this horrible blizzard.
I looked outside. I said, "Oh man, it must be cold." I said, "He's standing on one foot."
Oh, I felt so bad.
He was lifting up the one foot. Then he'd go to the other foot, lift up the other foot.
It's crazy.
We only got probably, I don't know.
It was, I
maybe
measured
4 or
it.
5
It was
inches.
not, you're wrong. We had so many drifts, it was about 8 inches because
We
I
did not get 8 inches
It
of
was.
snow. Don't believe anything
I
she
did.
said.
I
don't do your finger slinger dinger. There was no 8 inches around here.
You need
We
to
did
take it
not get
outside.
it. Maybe 5. We maybe got 5. But we do have a lot of drifts. The wind was blowing a lot. From here to, I had on my other channel, At the Woodlot. I drove you guys up to northern Missouri past the lake, the Mark Twain Lake and everything. When I came home even, there was a lot of clear street, a lot of concrete. You could still see the grass in a whole bunch of areas, but there was a lot of drifts.
It was the snow, the wind blew
The
everything.
drifts are pretty bad. Like, you could get caught up in some drifts.
Yeah, they were 3-4 feet. Easy.
We're just using teapots on the stove. If you want to just put some teapots on there to put off some moisture in your home.
Or
If you use a wood cook stove.
Yeah, or you can just put a pot that was open and let it come out.
Just a big, like a kettle pot. You put a video on the woodlot? Oh man, are you kidding me? We got 3 videos on the woodlot. Where you been? So I did the first video showing you guys kind of around the place. The second video was preparing for the storm, and then today I really wasn't at the woodlot, but we talked about wood and stuff and what you should be doing, like keeping it off the ground and all that kind of stuff. And then I drove the car, and again, just like the first video, the phone did not cooperate with the horizontal versus vertical view. So it is what it is, and I appreciate you guys checking it out, and I'll get better at it with this newer technology. My other phone that you guys are on right now, that you're watching us on, it's like 20 models old. And it works great, and I don't want to upgrade it or nothing, but this one's kind of a newer one. It's, you know, got all the newer stuff from everybody. All right, got my fermentation kit. Right on. Start on it, Angela. Remember, no one never died from fermenting. They only died from canning. Think about that. It's the truth. Look it up. Botulism. Got that from canning. Not one case from fermenting.
Yeah, Lisa DeCramer says, I wish I knew this when I broke my ribs. Especially with ribs because they're so painful.
Oh man, yeah. I was sitting in that chair for months and months and months.
Because you would have healed a lot quicker
if you
I
would have
given
upped
you
your
more.
dose.
Yeah.
Dang. Why was you so scared of it?
No, I didn't. I just didn't give you as much as I should have.
You have a good recommendation for a dewormer for my 2 little dogs.
A lot of people like, the big thing too, I want you guys to think about is the food that you're feeding your animal.
Oh,
you don't want a good, like for people, why do some people get parasites and some people don't? So if you have a system that everything's functioning and you're going to the bathroom, like pooping regularly, you're not putting a lot of things that these parasites can feed off of, it makes a huge difference. So look at the terrain what you're putting in your body too. Okay, so you want to look at that. So if the dog, number one, I would be making my food or having like a raw food diet or cook your food, and make the food, and you can put it in freezer bags. You can do that. Look at the food that you're giving your dog. But a lot of times, diatomaceous earth, a lot of people like to do that. You can do that maybe for a month in the spring and a month in the fall. A lot of times if somebody, the other thing, our pumpkin seeds are incredible. Like I collect a lot of the pumpkins, even for my chickens. Like I'll crash the pumpkins. That's what they've been doing now. I bring them from inside, and then they've been munching on that. Like with this cold weather that we have, they're like little preschoolers. You got to make sure to keep them busy, So I've been saving a lot of stuff, like my sunflower heads, and then I have the pumpkins, and you can go crash them in there, and then they'll eat all the seeds from that. Pumpkin seeds are incredible to give your animal. My dog loves the pumpkin seeds. I'll put them in her food. So I make my food, and then I'll put lots of good things in there. She gets dried kelp in there, and she gets liver in there. She gets sardines. She gets all these really good things, raw eggs. And if some people are freaked out about raw food, you can cook the same thing and then let it cool and put it in like little containers and put it in the freezer. So I'll make, a few weeks at a time, and then I keep them in there like that. But you can just go online and look into diatomaceous earth for natural worming. You can look at pumpkin seeds for worming and just see what you think. And then also check what the food you're giving your animal.
Food is number one.
Now, if they already have worms really bad, you're going to have to take care of them before and then go from there, possibly. So, I don't know what's going on with your dog, what they have, or do they have a tapeworm or what they have, but.
And I will be careful out there, you guys. I'm telling you, I posted it in the community tab a little while ago, how they were sticking your animals just to knock them off. And I know, just like we have problems with the feed and the chickens and laying hens and stuff, please don't forget all this stuff. But the dogs have had a lot of problems with some of this dog food, like dying and getting super duper sick. especially on some Rachel Ray stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah. And Pamela says Doc Jones has a worm tincture for dogs.
Yes.
Doc Jones.
He has it all.
He has tinctures for everything.
Yep. And you can save money. Just use our link.
Yeah, if you need, he does have a lot of them, and he does a really good job with those.
Man, we're just having a good old time. It's 8:28. We've already been here for 74 minutes. Come on.
Chris wants to know the best way of getting rid of flies.
The woodlot is the @ the woodlot. Just type that in. Just go up there in your search and put the @ and then put in the woodlot, and it'll pop up. And you'll see a picture of the building and some wood, and then you'll see some videos. We got 3 videos on there so far. I'm knocking them down.
What was that thing you did about the flies? Remember?
There's no flies on us.
No, you ordered that. You ordered that stuff. It
There
came
might
in
be
a
flies
bag.
on the
What
other
was that
guys.
thing called?
That was stupid. It didn't even work.
Yeah, there's this bag.
I would never buy it.
Yeah, you got these like little worm things, and they're supposed to eat the flies, but it really didn't do a good job.
Fly strips and all that stuff.
The fly strips are the best. They really are.
Yeah.
And then the other thing a lot of people do in front of your house, I don't know how many people do it, you get copper pennies and you put them in a bag of water, Ziploc, and then you hang them from your, front of your porch.
Man, did you guys really already buy? Yep, I already bought all the Mullen tea.
How many did
Check
you put
back
on there?
again on like Wednesday night. Okay, so if you didn't get the Mullen tea and you want to get some, check again on Wednesday night. But we have a system better in place coming up like right now because I perfected it last week. And so we're going to have more Mullen tea in stock all the time. This is wild crafted Mullen tea. We have dandelion with dandelion root and leaves tea. We have the Rest and Digest, which is Stacy's blend of teas that helps you with digesting and helps you with resting after you eat and after a hard day. And we also have the chocolate tea, which has theobromine and all these other little things that help you out, make you feel good. All of our things that we sell, like the 100% beeswax candles that we make ourselves. Thank you, Ziba, and the Murphys and our friends that help us with that. And that's 100% beeswax with 100% cotton wick. Okay, so no chemicals, no additives, nothing. Purifies the air. We actually set off our carbon monoxide detector last night, and I left that on all day today. All day today, by the way. It's probably went down maybe an inch or two, maybe.
Well, actually, it went down, and I got us. If you guys want a little trick, because this has been going all day long, I got the scissors because it was kind of high, and I just trimmed around the edges.
Yeah, just knock that top off. And then if you save a bunch of that stuff, you can do stuff with it, like make lip balm or anything else, because it's 100%.
Yeah, there you go. With the extra wax, you can melt that down, and you can make like a cream, like with your chicken.
We have videos about it.
Yeah, you could do that.
Purifies the air, helps you out, and then we have 100%. Our stainless steel tea balls are good too for steeping. But all of our products like that stuff are just to help you out, and we use them. And that's how we have them.
Oh, Amber, that's Amber Beginnings. Yes, we're talking about bone density. So an incredible way to help with bone density and a lot of other things like lymphatic drainage, your digestion, strengthening your pelvic floors, urinary incontinence.
Right, Jeff.
Is rebounding.
Yeah.
On a little mini trampoline. Rebounding is incredible
because you guys sit
for your
too
bone
much.
Density. So anybody can do it. You can get them with
and
a handle.
And it's good for your lymph nodes, your everything, man, because you're all clogged up. We're hunters and gatherers. We're meant to run through the forest and take breaks and run through the forest and get our food and then sit around and eat it and barbecue it and everything. And then, that's how we're meant to be. But we're sedentary. This new lifestyle that the man has ushered in on us is sedentary lifestyle.
Oh, Julie says she bought a Peterson's Field Guide at Goodwill for $3. Don't
Excellent.
you love it?
Always go looking for the deals at the thrift stores and then purchase your stuff. That's what I always say. Start close to home, see if you can find it, and then start moving out from there. Which teeth you're human and diverticulitis is already diagnosed?
What? Where are you?
Human divert. Yeah. I don't even know. We suggest instead of chamomile, I cannot keep it down. Assume that I'm allergic to it as most medicines.
if you are, well, if you can't, just if something is not going to go and help you,
We're not doctors. And
check.
we're not
No, just check. Are you okay with ginger? How about ginger? Can you do ginger tea?
Try ginger.
Try some ginger tea and see how that is.
Joseph Smith, I can't help you with your looks, buddy, so you best just get a good sense of humor. And then they'll just overlook your mugliness.
Yes, I saw. I like vibration plates. Those are good too.
All right, y'all. What is rebounding? It's when you jump on this little mini trampoline thing. We like the Bellicon. That's the kind Stacy has. And
there's quite a few other.
Very good for you.
There's one called cellar size, and there's a few others.
Cellar size.
That's what cellular size.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it's you're bouncing a little trampoline, but you're not bouncing up. Just remember, for you guys that are getting the little rebounders, you don't want to bounce up like when you were a kid on a trampoline. You want to push down on it, and your legs will get tightened up. Like it's like you all of a sudden your legs are all flabby, and then if you do that for a couple of weeks, it's like, oh my gosh, my legs got so tight and my butt got tight and everything. Really makes a huge. It really works well.
Mike Smith,
so you bounce down on
you get what you pay for. You either step up and buy the Bellicon and get the best one out there that's going to last you for years.
There's
and years.
other ones that are good too.
There's other ones, but he's complaining about the price. Or you buy the other one, and then maybe you buy another one again.
You can get a good $300 one.
Yes.
You can. There's a good, if you can get one. Just, I always tell people.
It's just everything is relevant.
Go online and pick the top rated rebounders for like 2024.
That you can afford.
And then you look in that, and then you decide.
And I would not try to use my sauerkraut if it was moldy. It just depends.
You have to, okay. For me, this is what I would do. If I have sauerkraut and I look at it and there's like some green mold or something on it, I would very carefully get a spoon and scoop off a nice layer of the top off of it. Wipe the edges around with a cloth. Make sure it's nice and clean, getting it all, nice and cleaned up. And then smell it and see how it is, and then taste it. And if it smells okay, then I'll be okay. But if it kind of looks slimy or it doesn't smell right, then it's probably went bad or something.
Sharon, you did not try everything. You need to just put some ghee on that face.
What is she talking about?
Right?
What's her question?
She has some dry peeling skin on her face.
You know what, Sharon? Even try some tallow. Do you have any tallow that you could try to put on there? Castor oil, your tallow.
But just be careful walking around a bunch of, older kind of single guys. You're going to walk around smelling like dinner, with the ghee and the tallow.
The tallow doesn't smell. It doesn't smell. No.
How you doing? All right, y'all. We're having a good time. We appreciate you guys always hanging out with us. If you're in the university, we'll see you Wednesday night.
And make sure, here's my other little public services announcement. It's winter now. This is when most people get dehydrated.
Yes.
You do not drink enough water.
Very
Many problems that people have.
Thanks for reminding me.
Dry skin. You're constipated. You are tired. You have a headache. You can pinch your skin, and if it doesn't snap back, like on your hand right away, like I've drank enough, I'm pinching right back.
Let me see.
Pinch.
Dang, it did kind of.
I know. Then you need water. Because I thought,
look at my stuff. Mine
you're
faster than you.
He's good.
Mine was faster than you.
So I'm thinking, you're getting older, your skin's getting wrinkly, but it really makes a huge difference. So make sure you're, getting the water in with some minerals. So remember, with the Redmond salts, you need to put the minerals back in your water too. So, if you need salt, you know where to go. We have our little link for Redmond too on our site that you can get a discount with the salt, because salt is incredible.
Yeah, there's a good herb that takes care of blockage of arteries. It's called cayenne pepper. Sprinkle it on your food. Stacy has it on all of her food all the time. She can't even feed her leftovers to the old dog because she
won't like it.
Yeah, cayenne pepper is great for you. It's all natural. Start putting it on your food, man. We're so far away from how we're supposed to be. That's the problem. So caught up in man stuff right now, are we? All right, y'all. If you're watching the replay, leave your questions, comments, and everything under the video. If you want to get a candle or some of the tea that we talked about, or any of Stacy's books that she's written, or my little hot diggity dog booklets that I've written, you can go to this link that I'm leaving right here. It's offergoodwithdougandstacy.com. And then you just look for the shop tab up in the corner. If you don't see it, look for the 3-4 little lines in a row. They call that a hamburger. And then just push that. It'll drop down. It'll say shop tab. Okay. Otherwise, we hope to see you at the Homesteading Life Conference, y'all. We got like 5 months, and we're going to sell out, and it's going to be a really rock and roll time. It's great fun for the kids. We have inflatable rides and things for the kids to do, face painters, activities. We have dedicated teachers just for the children. We even have some children that teach the children. It's really good stuff, y'all. Limited seating, great for the whole family. And we hope to see you at that one too. That really is, pour our heart and soul into the Homesteading Life Conference. It's at Vidalia, Missouri. The weather's going to be fantastic. It's pretty flat there. It's easy to get around. We'll have a lot of Amish there. We're going to have some camping available, some dry camping, not any hookups. So don't be sneaking in and if you see hookups, trying to hook up to them like some people did last time. We only have dry camping, and I'll be letting those tickets loose here in a little bit. Probably be like $40 or something. Okay? Man, that'll be awesome if you guys came to the conference, because we're really going to have a lot of good stuff. Yeah, she said some Amish vendors will be there. We'll have a lot of other vendors there. We have some really good speakers lined up. Dr. Leo will be there. Zach from An American Homestead, pretty sure is going to be there. Then Maureen from Weston Price and God's Good Table will be there. She'll be doing Tia Murphy. Jesse Murphy will be talking about structured water, security. We'll talk about sourdough bread. We'll be talking about lots of different things about traditional foods. Doc Jones will be there. Yep, Doc Jones will be doing herbal walks and talking about all the good stuff he talks about. I might have a surprise guest too that we haven't even thought about yet. I got some things up my sleeve. So we always have a good time there. It's 8 years running. We didn't even take a break for COVID when everybody else tapped out. All right, you guys. See you on the next one. May 16th and 17th. Yep. May 16th and 17th. Anything else? That's it. Whoa. Whoa, wow. Man, did I scare you? You're so close. All right, we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.